Good evening, and welcome to Xbox Tavern's X-Pod Tavern episode 97th. I'm Jamie, and I'm once again joined after a bit of a hiatus for the entire show by MPV Graham.
Hello.
He is here. How are you, MPV Graham?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Nice to see you again, almost in person. Almost. We're not alone this week, though. We've got Millie Man Ian joining us as well.
Hello.
Hello, Millie Man Ian. Spiffing.
Hello.
You?
Hello.
I'm good, thank you. All the better for seeing your beautiful face.
And all the better for seeing your wonderful soul patch. We also got Ladies Man. Ladies Man?
Ladies man, Daniel.
I've done it again. He's thrown me off. Daniel, come in, please.
Hello.
Oh, that was sexy. Thank you very
All right,
much.
ladies man. Lady boy
Very
Daniel.
I should have just done that.
And the man that puts this shit show together, Scottish Grub Ross.
Hello.
He's here. Oh.
Hello. Right, it's been a while. We've missed 1 week, 2 weeks? I forget. I was away for too long. So so apologies for the lack of
Interruption.
Xbox Tavern goodness, but we're back. We're gonna talk about all the wonderful news and games we played and some exciting games later on. However, let's get straight into the topic of the week, and I'm going to pass over to one of these guys in a second. We're talking about EA, who have announced a multi-title action-adventure game deal with Marvel. Very exciting indeed. So I'm just going to read this bit from Pure Xbox real quick. They said they committed into a long-term deal with comic book giant Marvel, named for Spider-Man and X-Men, as if you weren't aware, to develop at least 3 brand new action-adventure games. These will be available on both consoles and PC, and have an original story set within the Marvel universe. I'm going to read COO Laura Mealy's quote quickly. We've been long-time fans of Marvel and their impressive leadership, so this is a remarkable moment for our developers as well as our players and fans. We look forward to welcoming Marvel into the EA family of creators and know this collaboration will produce exceptional experiences for our players. We can't wait to see players' reaction when they suit up as Iron Man and do the extraordinary things the superhero is known for. I don't know why she's capitalized superhero. Is that correct? I don't know. Is known for. And as she said, the first title is going to be by Motive, and it's going to be a single-player, third-person Iron Man game. And it'd be led by Oliver. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that surname. Who worked as a senior producer on Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy game for Square Enix. Right, gentlemen, myself and Ian, not really Marvel fans. So the three of you, please discuss this news. What game you'd like? Because obviously, that's Iron Man. This is 3 games. What the other 2 you'd like to see? Who you'd like to see make them, etc., etc. The floor is yours.
My only sense to this is because it's EA. I'm not very confident. Considering how shit Anthem was. I'm hoping they don't go down the same route of that. Like, if they've got Iron Man skin on Anthem, I'm like, okay, great.
But the thing is, Iron Man, like, the best parts of Anthem is what Iron Man's all about. Like, the traversal with the suits, the various different suits you can have, that's the strongest parts of Iron Man. Then, obviously, you've got the story and things like that. But the actual core of what Anthem was suits Iron Man down to a T.
Yeah.
They just need to build on that instead of just having it very basic.
Well, they need a story.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. So the actual base part of Anthem suits, well, at least Iron Man down to a T. As you say, being EA, I'm a little bit hesitant over it. But the senior producer from Guardians of the Galaxy, as Dan will say, fantastic games with his creative direction that they're heading, that could make up for some of the flaws that you had in games like Anthem and the Avengers game, for example.
Yeah.
Did Iron Man even have a true villain, though?
Ish.
Tons.
Yeah.
The main one's the Mandarin, who was in the films as a shitty side bit, but the Mandarin in the comics and things like that is like ridiculous.
Yeah. But I mean, the squad-based thing of Guardians in the Galaxy was pretty good. So if maybe they could do something similar with X-Men as well. I mean, that could play out quite well.
X-Men would be the one I'd love to see.
Yeah, X-Men.
X-Men.
Yeah, X-Men would probably be the other one. The only other thing is, you could, if you bring out a Thor, he's picked up some sort of semblance of mainstream in regards to the films and things like that. But is he a big enough? Like, is there enough knowledge of Thor to do a single game just by him? At least we folk like Spider-Man, then obviously Wolverine coming out for PlayStation as well. They've got like iconic status in regards to people know nearly everything about them, whether it be Wolverine through the X-Men or just Spider-Man in general. Making big single-player games, they've not got a massive selection of like one character that they could carry a storyline with.
And a good one anyway. I mean, there were
Yeah.
some Iron games in the past that were okay. They weren't the greatest.
Yeah. I mean, because obviously you automatically jump to the Avengers, so you'd have a Captain America game, which could work. Thor, Spidey is obviously the new
Can they
Avengers.
touch Spider-Man without Sony though?
Well,
No, I
Sony
don't
don't own the
think they
rights. Sony don't own the rights to Spider-Man, do they? They think they just.
Yeah, no, they own the rights to Spider-Man because they can publish the movies. However,
Yeah.
the deal they struck with the new Spider-Man, I say new Spider-Man film, they've now got the back catalogue of all the old Spider-Mans within Disney Plus now. I don't know whether they can do an exclusive.
But I'm meaning in regards to the video game space, because obviously they're saying like in this like X-Men, then you lose Wolverine. Because they've all
wasn't he? Spider-Man was on Marvel Avengers, wasn't he? But he was
only on the PlayStation. That's
Yeah.
what
So
I
I
mean.
don't know if I don't know if there's some sort of dodgy
Spider-Man.
deal
That's what I
going
mean.
on
But I don't know if they've got like the Wolverine side of things as well. Because I know obviously they've got the game coming out for him.
Yeah.
Because that would be a massive blow to try and do the X-Men if you couldn't have Wolverine in it.
Yeah, true.
What I'm going to show my ignorance here. What about something like Deadpool? Is that I have no idea about whether that's Marvel or not.
They had a game not long ago when
you could
followed
do
the
it.
film that was pretty cack.
Yeah, you could do it as like a comedy element, but you couldn't build like what they're saying in here, like a single player, like trying to build up a full story game like that on just Deadpool. I don't think he bounces around other people's villains. He's not got one villain that is like when you say Deadpool, if you do like word association, like who his villain would be that would pop up.
I mean, you got no chance getting the answer out of me.
Yeah, so that's the tricky problem with somebody like Deadpool. As much as they've got sort of a lot more recognition in modern day because of the films with Ryan Reynolds and things like that, putting a game developed just by them would be a bit trickier. I mean, you could do like a mashup because like you could do Deadpool and the Punisher because they have a lot of backwards and forwards and like comics and storylines and like that. So if you did something like that, that would be an interesting game. That'd be like a Manhunt cross Max Payne type idea.
But they've already done a Deadpool game, haven't they?
Yeah.
And that didn't.
Yeah, I think
well,
Activision did a few, didn't they?
Yeah. I just think what would you want to see? Like the only one really feasible is Iron Man. That's kind of more open
Iron
world
Man's
desk. If you have someone like Thor or Captain America, I mean, it'd be more of a walking simulator.
Not so much Thor. Thor can fly.
Yeah, you can fly with his hammer.
True. You can always, at least you won't lose your hammer as well. So
This is it, yeah.
go, come back. Oh, there it is.
It'd basically just be like God of War, though. You'd throw the hammer and like the fucking axe would just, or hammer would just appear back in your hand. It would be, you'd have Sony fanboys having something to say about it.
That's true.
God damn you, copying our games.
It's not as good as God of War because there's no child. Well,
exactly.
Child is the worst part of the game.
No.
Boy. Anyway, anyone else got Graham, Daniel? You got anything to add to more Marvel goodness? Because, like I said, it's not really mine or Ian's forte, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I was saying they're going to have to work hard to try and gain some interest on those because they can be a bit meh. So, see what they come out with. Could be worth a look.
Yeah. Hopefully they've learnt their lesson with their Star Wars shenanigans that they shit the bed on not getting games out and cancelling games left, right, and centre.
But then the last one they done was with Star Wars. Obviously, it was a completely independent storyline with the Fallen Order and sort of Cal Kestis, and that was fantastic. So maybe they're learning.
Yeah. Who do you reckon they're going to get? What? Because obviously, like I said, Motive were doing this Iron Man game. Do you reckon they could get someone like Respawn or their new studio just to work on, what did you say, Thor or something like that, or perhaps one of their other 10-ton other studios, DICE or Criterion, do a racing game based around.
Don't they have BioWare?
I don't know. BioWare. They got loads.
BioWare would be the first people I would go to for any type of story-based single-player game.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got a track record of putting out quite a few good ones.
But can they put out something fresh, or do they have to dive into the back catalogue of the comic book history and pull stories out of there?
They're also bogged down with Mass Effect and Dragon Age at the minute, which is taking up quite a lot of time, I imagine. So they could be Depends when they're going to release the games, because there was no time frame on this story, was there? It didn't say within the next 5 years we'll have 3 Marvel games out or anything.
Yeah.
No, but like 10, 15 years to see it.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
So Marvel, like I said, the first one, Iron Man, that's literally what they said. There's no details or trailers or images or anything along those lines. But we'll see. Obviously, Square Enix have been doing various Marvel games like Avengers, like we said, and Guardians of the Galaxy and stuff before they were absorbed by Embracer. And speaking of the absorption, that's not a word, by Embracer.
Yeah, your segues aren't good.
I was getting there, but then I cocked up a word. Anyway, they shut down Square Enix Montreal 2 months after buying it. And apparently it's part of a pivot away from mobile games, according to PC Gamer's subhead there. It's a long article, I won't read it all, but basically in August they bought up Square Enix Studios in a $300 million deal. They got Crystal Dynamics, Eidos Montreal, and Square Enix Montreal as well. The studio responsible for Hitman Go, Lara Croft Go, Deus Ex Go had only just renamed itself Onoma in anticipation of the acquisition, and now they shut them down.
Deus Ex Go.
They said, yeah. They said, but in a statement to Games Industry Biz, Phil Rogers, the Embracer Group's some sort of high-end flying guy, says, "We see the growth opportunities centered around our premier franchises and AAA games. Closing publishing, QA, and our Onoma studio is a difficult decision and one we've taken with great care and consideration. Great, obviously not because they let them rename themselves and get ready to make more games. We're great to thank all the team members who have contributed over years and hope to find replacements for them as many as possible. But part of this sort of reveal was that they were actually helping out on Fable. Is that right, Ross?
I was not. I forgot I was muted. Yes, they were. There was. What was it? It was basically the reason I listed this is because there was. I can't remember which group it was that they acquired that was helping with Fable. But if you give me 2 wee seconds, I will bring it up. Yeah, Eidos Montreal was helping with Fable.
Yeah, so they've seen Microsoft is getting a lot of them because there's some people helping with Perfect Dark as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so they've also got them helping with Fable, but now they're being shut down. So who knows what that means for Fable's future? Obviously, it's still quite a way away, and we haven't actually got any more details on that in the 2 years or 3 years since they revealed it.
Yeah.
So Graham, Daniel, any thoughts on them shutting the studio down so early, and any concerns for the future of Fable when it eventually comes around?
Well, they're running the risk of it being sort of a non-event if the more it kind of drags on, because Fable's only kind of partially favourable in a lot of people's minds, and the longer it drags on, the least they're going to say, I could take it or leave it now. I'm not really too fussed if it comes out or not because it's taken so long. Not one of those sort of massively long sought after, especially if it carries on. I suppose it did pick up a little bit on the third one, but not by much.
Yeah,
it's going to be quite hard to capture the magical moments of the first one that it had to try and bring something new to the table.
What concerns me is that, like I said, with Perfect Dark and that, they got all the the acquisitions, all these people they're buying in. They obviously haven't bought anyone from Square Enix, but they're still getting them to help with their big first party titles that are still years away. They haven't even released more than like a simple trailer. Do you think there's any concern that they need more help than they're sort of willing to admit, or to perhaps they're shooting a bit far above their station at the minute?
I think they're just starting too many things at once, and so they're struggling to sort of meet all the different kinds of deadlines.
Yes.
They're not building the right amount of hype, or maybe they just don't have enough firepower to sort of get it all out.
Yeah, because you'd think, if they were up for sale, why didn't they pick them up and say, well, it seems you're helping us anyway, but they let Embracer buy them and now they're shutting them down. Carry on, Ross, sorry.
I was going to say, as much as I would love to hear more about Fable, I would rather not hear anything until I knew it was something worth hearing.
Yeah.
I would rather they were slow and steady, because the worst thing you can do is do loads of press releases and hype things up, but really you're 3-4 years away from having anything that's going to be physical to play. I'd rather radio silence and then a year out from launch, bang, 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 and this is what you can expect by the end of 2024, for example.
Yeah, it seems like they've done too much releasing the trailer and then going quiet. has had the backwards effect. The same
Yeah.
with Perfect Dark, isn't it? We're doing Perfect Dark. You're like, yay, okay.
Thing
And
is,
then
I
that's
think
it.
I think Microsoft had to do that because it's the same age-old argument that keeps getting answered with Microsoft as they don't have any games. So they had to let people know that we've got this coming, this coming, this coming, this coming, this coming. So they had to put something out to let people know that, no, you're going to have plenty of games. The problem with that is, though, now we have to wait. And it still doesn't solve the problem of we don't have any games that are Microsoft exclusive.
No, true.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's plenty of things coming. I mean, there was a story we had here about Phil Spencer talking about he realizes that they're missing the sort of like big hitters like PlayStation RAM, like
Yeah.
God of War and stuff coming out in a minute, and they know it's been a while, so hopefully they'll use this sort of next year or so to really ramp things up, get some games going.
I mean, that's the thing. Is it March for Starfield?
Well, yeah, it's supposed to be by the end of March. Yeah.
Yeah, that could be a paradigm shift. Like that could come out and people just go, "Shit, Xbox has arrived."
Well,
Yeah,
isn't it next year? Not just in terms of Starfield, but you've got everything. Aren't they pinning everything? Everything's coming next year.
Redfall,
isn't it? You've got Redfall, Starfield. I can't think of any others off the top of my head, but it's all
nice one, Dan. Yeah.
Yeah, no, typical, isn't it? But
Yeah,
that first half of the
they're the
year
only
is
two,
meant
yeah.
to be quite stacked, isn't it, for games?
Yeah. But there are more coming. They just haven't given set dates yet. Like is it Hellblade 2? I can't remember the subtitle of it. Senua's Saga or whatever it's called.
There's tons that is due to come out next year.
Yeah, I had a graphic for it, and I don't have the graphic anymore.
Yeah, there's the list is like massive as to what's coming out next year and what's going to be stuck behind, just like Xbox, for example.
As long as when they drop Starfield, I got it right that time. Yeah, Starfield. They don't just do one and then be like, right, that's it. That'll do us for the year now. We need to get it Starfield, then Redfall, then something else, and just keep it coming every couple of months.
There needs to be consistency in regards to like, so if they like smash it at the park, then Perfect Dark's due to be released next year. If that comes out, smashes it. Then, as you're saying, Redfall comes out, smashes it. They need to
new Forza.
Yeah, Stalker, games like that. They need to have all of that momentum, and it needs to just carry on through 2023 and into 2024. Because what will happen is if once they have a successful 2023, for example, people will back off and they'll give them the time to do whatever they need to do to make X amount of more studios put out big AAA games.
Yeah. So fingers crossed we get things going. Again, we're sort of pivoting back to the sort of crux of the story. Obviously, Square Enix been shut down after only a couple of months being bought by Embracer. It's a shame. Hopefully everybody finds... Apparently they're moving staff to other studios and they're included in Montreal, I think it said in the thingy. Or not Montreal, sorry. Another studio nearby, which is supposedly working on a Deus Ex title. A proper one, Ian. So hopefully we'll get a decent one this time.
Yes, finally. I do think, though, that this, like you say, it's probably something like that. Like you say, they're shutting down the division where they know the staff can move on to somewhere else within them. Because I do feel like not many, from what I've seen on Twitter, normally Twitter, they tell you like, oh, I've been let go. Most of them have been moved on to other studios. Yeah. So it does seem promising that they are moving their staff on to better projects. And it's Deus Ex. Fuck yes.
There's too many other things to be reading on Twitter at the minute. The amount of Elon Musks I've seen. It's been...
Oh god,
no, let's not go start.
Anyway, let's not get onto that. Let's not get involved with it. Let's move on to the next story. Shall we?
I'm gonna lose my blue tick.
I was going to say, it's Xbox Tavern going to pay $8.99 a month to get a blue tick.
You could get fucked. But anyway, on to the subject of people with blue ticks. I'm sure Phil Spencer's got one. And he says that Call of Duty will continue to ship on PlayStation as long as there's a PlayStation to ship to. IGN's article is very long. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but the gist of it was he had an interview recently and he was asked again about Call of Duty and PlayStation, how long it'll stay, blah, blah, blah. And the gist of it was, as long as there's a PlayStation available, you'll be able to play Call of Duty on it. Stop panicking. Everybody calm down. Relax. Take a breath. Call of Duty, you can still play it. Don't worry about it. It's coming to Game Pass, probably. It's coming to Xbox. But it'll also be in PlayStation. Chill out. Just breathe. And everybody went, but when? When is it coming off of PlayStation? And it's, oh, Jesus Christ. Why don't people listen?
Did you read some of the other comments that were underneath it as well? So obviously...
I try not to.
he's came out and obviously compared it to Minecraft, and he's like, "Look, we own Minecraft. The PlayStation players still play Minecraft. Yeah, they do." And then people underneath, "Yeah, but what about Bethesda and their games?" And then somebody was like underneath, "What about God of War? What about Horizon Zero
And Spider-Man,
Dawn
you know,
and Spider-Man?"
Because
I'm pretty sure Spider-Man's big enough that Xbox players would have liked to pick him up. But it's like, it's just the hypocrisy. It's like, oh, we're allowed to have our first-party games and we can have these studios that are only on PlayStation. But God damn you, Xbox! How dare you have them?
It's a strange situation, isn't it? Because of all the kind of going ons over here with getting it approved, or maybe not getting it approved. All the little stories that have been kind of creeping out. I saw something that Phil Spencer said, well, PlayStation can rival Game Pass if they put their first-party exclusives on there.
If they said if they want to, they can, but they don't want to. So fuck.
Yeah, well, that was basically what this, like. Obviously, we were off last week when the story first broke in regards to like one of the ways that PlayStation could counter the Activision deal is by improving PS Plus, and that was one of the stories that we were going to have last week. And it could actually benefit PlayStation fans. Like, so even if you hate Xbox, like you would never own an Xbox for love nor money, but you've got PlayStation Plus, you could get God of War built in it, like we get Halo, or we get Forza, or we get Call of Duty if it goes through, or we're going to get fucking Starfield or whatever's coming for Bethesda. You could end up getting God of War, Horizon, Spider-Man, The Last of Us, Uncharted as part of your monthly subscription if they decide to make a service that rivals Game Pass. They don't want to.
I've literally just taken Ross's advice or looking in the comments and I got a headache. The amount of people that don't believe what he said. Like, oh my God.
I don't know how many
If it
more
goes
times
on
you have to say it.
PlayStation, he makes money. So he's stupid not to do it because, okay, it's a game and it comes to you, but he makes, like Minecraft, he makes money. Over Minecraft stuff. He makes money. But also, Microsoft don't give a fuck about the money.
No, and that's the
Xbox
thing. Like,
division is like 5, 10, maybe not even 10% of their net worth.
No, and this is what they were saying. Like everybody's saying, "Oh, this deal might not go through. This deal X, Y, and Z." Look, if Microsoft want this deal to go through, there is not a power on earth that can stop them from putting this through.
Exactly, they've got the best lawyers in the business. They know exactly
have
what to do.
more money and more legal expertise at their disposal than any other company, fucking board can put up to them and go, but what about this? So
they know exactly what they're doing because
Microsoft are not hardballing this. They're not pushing through. They're not iron fisting it, saying like we're Microsoft. Good luck standing up against us. They're going through all the proper channels. They're showing that we're looking to try and make this We're trying to make this as fair as possible. We're telling you that it's going to stay on every single available device. They might turn around and say, right, it's not going to be previous gen. You're not going to be able to own it on PlayStation 4 because there's going to come a time where we can't keep making games for the previous generation. God of War's facing this, and it's got about 30 different modes to try and incorporate PlayStation 4, which is just not feasible for developers, making life so much more difficult when you're then thinking about cross-platform. But it's always going to be on PlayStation, so why the fuck are they complaining about it?
Do you know one thing? I'm going to stoke the flames ever so slightly. Just rereading his comment, he says, our intent is to publish it on a PlayStation as long as there's a PlayStation out there to ship it to. But he doesn't say day and date.
No.
So it could be like Game Pass October 1st, PlayStation November 1st, or December 1st.
Yeah, exactly. It could be.
And that's just going to, that's going to be a glorious day if that happens. Just watching
the internet will burn. I love it. And the amount of people in the comments are saying like, "Oh, this won't go through."
Like, a year later, like they did with the DLC exclusivity, they had PlayStation exclusive for a year.
Exactly.
Like, right, here's Modern Warfare 2. You get it next year, fuckers.
But PlayStation
I never said when.
PlayStation have done that so much with Modern Warfare. PlayStation have been like, "Oh, get this early on PlayStation. Get these new maps early on PlayStation. Get X, Y, Z early on PlayStation."
I know exactly. And when Microsoft do it
you're
next,
fucking hypocrites.
They're going to go. The world's going to burn when Microsoft goes.
Fucking hypocrites.
I mean, IGN have a link to a tweet, from PlayStation that says, "Congratulations to Infinity Ward and Activision on the biggest PlayStation Store launch ever for a Call of Duty game, including pre-orders and day one sales for Modern Warfare 2." So it's obviously massive. I understand why they don't lose it, but he said many times they're not going to lose it. But I now I've thought of that, I can't get it out of my head. Like 1 year
How
exclusivity, fuck
intense.
you.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be
Do you imagine
brilliant.
drip feeding it?
Oh yeah,
Just drip feeding it.
yeah. You
I
get
was
two
like-
maps.
I was more thinking about you could almost have it as like the tiniest little like asterisks available on Xbox, PC, PlayStation, but the PlayStation's got like tiniest wee asterisks next to it, and it's like 2024. Like everything else is 2023.
Oh,
It's like we did say it was
Oh.
coming. We just, as Jay said, we didn't say when it was coming.
that's gonna make me. I mean, like I said, I'm not really much of a Twitter person either, but I'm gonna have to sit and just read that all day if that happens. That'd be brilliant. Graham, carry on.
But wouldn't it be more annoying of them just to release it at the same time? Because obviously they still want the money from it. They still want to get the PlayStation users, but maybe just cost more on the PlayStation.
Yeah, well, yeah, you'd have to
Pay the premium
you'd have to buy it
for
full
it.
price, wouldn't you? Whereas on the Xbox, you should be able to get it on Game Pass.
But even
So-
if they said that they couldn't do it on like game, no, I don't think they're allowed to do that. Either they can't have different prices on. They can have it in Game Pass, but they can't have it as a different price to buy it. There's a law against that.
I don't know what sort of.
You can't
I'm
have
sure
it
there's
like-
some sort of shenanigans there.
Yeah, you can't have it like $49.99 on Xbox and $69.99 on PlayStation. There's a
Yeah,
rule.
but you could
There's-
have it at
You
100.
could have it that much and have it in Game Pass.
Exactly. They are trying to push people to Games Pass. Their growth
and
has
you
been
do get
slow.
you get
and that's
20%
the
off
way
of
to do
Game
it.
Pass as well.
yeah.
Oh,
I'm sure there's a way
Yeah.
of doing it to make them pay more the premium
Yeah.
for it. That'd be more annoying than sort of delaying it for a year because they're
Well, put like Game Pass free, PlayStation $70.
Early access.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Anyway, so it's
That'd
still
be a
coming
waste.
still coming to PlayStation. Just fucking calm your tits, everybody. Just chill out, relax. You'll get to play it at some point, whether it's day and date or not. Who knows? Let's find out, shall we? But yeah, hopefully you won't have to say it again. But I'm sure most of the internet people will be like, but when? Just shut up and chill out. But that's the main sort of hits of the stories this week. There's a few other quick bits we're going to go through quickly. The main one, which I'm very excited about, Vampire Survivors, is coming to Game Pass. I know we get to the Game Pass list later, but it's coming to Xbox Game Pass.
Vampire
Just
Rain?
in Vampire Survivors, not Rain.
Was that the one that
in-
you were telling us it was the bullet hell type idea?
That's the one where basically you start as a character that's got like a simple attack, and then you kill the enemies, and the more you kill, your XP goes up, and you get another attack. You kill more, get another attack, and the idea is just to survive as long as possible. And it's really simple, and it looks really basic. It looks like a Mega Drive game, but it's so much fun. It's so addictive. And that when I've played it on PC, I said there, if it comes to console or cloud, this would be like a perfect game just to chill out with. If you play again on cloud, just have a quick 10-minute game. So fucking brilliant. Looking forward to that coming. I think the 15th or 16th, something out of November. So that'd be awesome. Halo Infinite's got a winter update, which is coming November 8th. So in just a couple of days, which includes various bits and pieces, including was this one that's bringing the ray tracing and all that gubbins, or was it just a new battle pass and stuff like that? It's
Is that the
coming
rework.
Yeah, this
Got-
hasn't
got
got,
the
all
co-op
the fancy shit
campaign.
in it.
co-op campaign, Forge mode, various updates to multiplayer, including new maps and the new battle pass. So yeah, if you're still playing Halo, which I'm sure some people are, hopefully, there's some new stuff coming for you to play. That'd be nice. Twitch also partners with Xbox for free PC Game Pass subscriptions when you buy subs. So I think if you buy 2 subs to a channel, you get a free month visit for PC Game Pass. I probably should click on the link and find out, really, shouldn't I?
Yes, it is.
But that's pretty cool. So yeah, if you're not sure about Game Pass yet for some reason, but
Only
you
PC
like throwing
Game
your money
Pass.
at only PC Game Pass. But if you like throwing your money at Twitch streamers, hint, you're going to get a free month of Game Pass to check out. So that's pretty cool. And the last one I wanted to get one very quickly. Again, we'd have to go into it, but all the big sales and stuff of Xbox, apparently they make a big loss in each console sold, according to Phil Spencer. Just getting the numbers very quickly.
100 and 200.
Between $100 and $200 for each console that they sell, they lose, which I mean, I suppose is not a surprise considering how expensive or the price they are and how expensive things are getting to make and build and what have you. But that's still, I mean, Sony obviously put their prices up recently. Xbox have said they're not going to put anything up anytime soon, but they haven't ruled out for the future.
Yeah, they said that it's an inevitability, but they're
Yeah.
hoping to try and hold it off as much as they can.
Yeah, but like Ian said, like it's not like they're hurting for money, so I'm sure they can hold out for a bit longer still.
Yeah.
So that's some quick hits. Anyone else got any other news bits that we missed that you'd like to bring up quickly, or should we get into the old pluggles?
Pluggles!
Plug away.
Plug away, sir. Ross, please plug me.
Oh, strap in for this.
I'll go quick. I know how Dan likes it over and done with. So as I was kind of hoping Dan was going to do like the socials out of my screen, but it's fine. So patreon.com/Xbox Tavern if you want to support us with your hard-earned cash. Thank you very much. It would be greatly appreciated. Shout out to our superstar supporter Beth for all your generosity and support. It's much appreciated.
Not worthy.
Podcasts, find them on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, wherever you find your podcasts. If you could rate us 5-star and leave us a little comment, gets us more exposure and gets us into more people's ears. It would be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much. All our written reviews, which Jay will have a list of later on in the show, can be found at xboxtavern.com. Socials, you can find us all at normal places: Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, wherever it may be. It's all run along at the bottom of the screen. Discord, link in the show notes. Jump in, help us with our Guess the Games, our Game of the Years. There will be new topics coming up as we reach the end of our Game of the Year discussions. Sad days. And last but not least, the amazing people at Insert Coin. So we've got Xbox Tavern 22 for £5 off orders over £50. And I do believe, is it only Dan rocking the merch this week?
Yes,
Yes.
yes. I've got the official gear on this week.
I've got some EGX gear on this week.
I've got none.
So,
Have you not got my stolen hoodie?
I didn't steal your hoodie, bitch.
No, I was talking about Ian.
Hey, it wasn't a hoodie, it was a t-shirt.
It's a
and
t-shirt.
You left it in my
Yeah.
bag and I forgot.
Yeah, get it right now.
Well, I forgot to.
And that has been a very quick plugging.
I do like a good quick plug-in, especially after a few weeks off, you know.
Exactly.
Really
Just
get
break
the
you in
old,
slowly.
yeah. We also, I forgot to mention at the top, we've got our quiz show coming up at last. It's been long delayed, oft rumoured, but finally, episode 100, I believe we're aiming for, which is going to be on the 27th of November. So
Yes, Chris.
come along.
Dan's like, I can't make it.
If you're not
fucking
familiar
turn
with our quizzes, we've done 3 so far. They've been great fun, and we've got a trio of winners here, and Daniel also takes part. And we're going to
Makes up the numbers.
could it be could it be Daniel's turn to win?
If
Could we have
I
a-
gave
all
Daniel
of
the
us?
answers, he'll still fucking somehow
Dan's
lose.
been given the fucking answers.
I've never been given. I have not been given the answers once.
That first show, I was going back looking over fucking comments and stuff.
Oh, the
like that.
caustic one.
That caustic fucking one. Bullshit, you didn't get the answer for that.
No, I didn't. 100%.
He didn't get the answer. It was obvious, really, because we go Battle Royale, then Battle Royale plays Apex.
Yeah, and we played a lot of Apex leading up to that.
So you got lucky
That's
numbers.
suspicious.
Yeah, so
Oh,
they're
it's
always fun.
Starfield.
They're always full of.
Sorry, StarCraft. And what was the other one? Oh, Back for Blood. Is that Game Pass yet?
Both of them I was ahead of the fucking curve.
Yeah, you,
by a
in
week.
the future.
Yeah,
Will
way
Ross
too
be able to
far.
predict the future again? Who knows? We'll find out on November 27th for episode 100.
And
We're
my
doing
cup
next
is
quiz.
fitting. That's how I feel about it right
I
now.
can't read what that says.
Fresh out fucks.
Well, that's what we need to do. Like anybody listening to the podcast for the quiz, anything that I say that sounds somewhat questionable, fucking go and invest. Find
Exactly. Going to
something
best just to give it 3 months and then we'll have it revealed and
you'll be
announced.
fucking cooking.
Yeah, I think our previous 3 are up on YouTube or also the podcast feed. They're good fun. Hopefully, if you want to, including the one we did in person in London.
London.
Last year.
Town. That was brilliant.
Not last year, whenever it was.
That was a
yeah,
ball
really
like
good.
editing, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's good fun. So go check them out, and we're doing a new one soon. And hopefully, one of us will be crowned ultimate champion unless Dan wins, and then we'll have to have another showdown in another 20
and
episodes.
then the whole show collapses.
Yeah, that's it. Just
If I win, there's some issues. There
I'm
is.
rooting for you, Daniel. I'm rooting for you.
if he's guessed the games or
have
anything,
a
you go by we're
chance.
safe.
Oh, they've been bad. They've been bad.
Anyway,
We've seen.
let's talk about some games that we do enjoy, shall we, for now? This is our fight, like Russ alluded to just now. It's the final one. We're going through Xbox Game of the Year throughout the years. And we started at the very first year of Xbox. Worked all the way up to now 2021. Obviously, we're not at the end of 2022 yet, so we'll have to wait until the end of the year to decide our games for this year. However, we're going to quickly go over last year's picks that we had. Obviously, we did this on the podcast. There was videos and an article on the site as well. xboxtam.com, you go check it out. But, Graham, tell me about your favourite game of the year for 2021, please.
Yeah, my game of the year was one I reviewed and absolutely loved, and it was Lost Judgment, the sequel to Judgment, which I never actually played, and I'm gutted I didn't because this one was just, it is amazing. So much content. So, I mean, these guys, the this studio just knows how to sort of pack a lot of different sort of side quest stuff. So many distractions. Like all their games just chock full of procrastination just to stop you from playing the kind of the main game. And the main game's sort of quite gritty and gruesome compared to like the others in the kind of Yakuza series. But you play as sort of a detective trying to sort of unravel this crime where a guy sort of tries to get himself caught, and then you realize why he got himself caught and how he managed to get out of it. Sort of he tried to stage the perfect crime, and then you just watch how it all unfolds. And yeah, it's amazing. The story's amazing, the graphics are amazing, and there's so much for you to sort of play around with. As you can see here, dancing involved, racing involved. There's arcades in there. Skateboarding. There's just so much different stuff, and each of the kind of side games are not just quick one button kind of things. They're quite all kind of fleshed out. There's quite a lot of content to them, and yeah, they kept the same sort of real time action as like the original kind of Yakuza series. And yeah, I couldn't speak any more kind of highly about it. The game's massive. There's so much to do in it, and it will keep you busy for hours. It's definitely, you get your money's worth with this kind of title.
Yeah, because this is a spin-off of Yakuza. I don't know
It
if
is,
you
yeah.
say that, but there's nothing to do with that. It's got different characters and stuff.
It's connected to them, but in the same kind of areas. But a completely different sort of subset of people. But
and
they're still great in their own right. Yeah.
What was your favorite side game? Something about a dude in the pants, wasn't
it? They always have it in all the kind of Yakuza series. There's always some guy wearing a baby outfit, or some guy in their pants, or someone crazy dancing in their pants. I think I sent you the video of that guy. Just a guy dancing in the club in his pants. Just there's always that in every Yakuza. There's always some utmost mentis theories. The Japanese definitely know how to throw in a curveball and you go, what the fuck? And yeah, this one doesn't let you down either. There's definitely a couple of those moments in the game. That's why I love that series and these kind of spin-offs so much. They're absolutely worth every penny.
Just a bit mental.
Yeah, but great fun.
Nice. Did you have any honourable mentions for this year? I can't remember.
I think I did, but they've been since wiped out, so I can't remember what they were. But
fair enough.
I'm sure there's plenty of others. I've seen all the others there. There's a few in the others that I'd like to. Definitely in the mentions, but I'll let you guys talk about them.
Oh, well, thank you very much. That was Lost Judgment. Ian, sorry, I was going to get Ian next. What was your favourite game of 2021?
For me, 2021, my favourite game will have to be a game called 12 Minutes. For me, I found this game quite it's a lot of fun because I think this whole concept of like time loop, and it had some brilliant voice acting with Daisy Ridley, Willem Dafoe, and James McAvoy. But yeah, it's kind of the same concept. If no one doesn't know about it, it's a kind of similar. So kind of like, I think Majora's Mask, where it's a kind of like a looping time. Yeah. So it's all 10 minutes of real time. So you have 10 minutes of real time, and then you have to go through a story and try and learn what to do. And you can do a variety of different things throughout the game and try and actually kind of work out what the story is and what's trying to happen. I always remember my first kind of, when I actually first played through it and did my first kind of loop, I always remember getting 2 cakes out and sitting down and eating both cakes, and the wife getting really pissed off at me for eating both cakes. And there's kind of, and there's kind of little nuggets there that kind of help quite like make it a bit more fun. And also the point of I actually reviewed it off my own back. I didn't even have to review it, and because I enjoyed it so much, I actually reviewed it for Jamie, and he was really proud of me.
An elusive Ian review.
I know.
So did you played it for obviously to the end? Did you play it through several times to see different things, or?
Yes, multiple. I played for multiple times. I've 1000G'd it as well, as always.
Obviously, yeah.
But yeah, I played for multiple times and did all different stories and trying to learn it. What's quite good about it is if when you do go through the story and you get to a point, you can kind of start skipping things, so it doesn't speed up the kind of what you're doing. Because now you go into a cupboard and stuff, rather than like waiting like 2-3 minutes in real time, goes now we wait, and then it jumps forward in time, shows the little clock, and it moves around, and then obviously it starts going back to what kind of section you're up to. Yeah. And obviously you can skip text if you've already done that kind of thing. So it's quite good in that way. So if you want to kind of get back to a point that you've done and you want to try something different, you can just skip, and then get through there.
Nice. And if I remember rightly, the end went a bit sideways.
Yeah,
It did. The ending was a bit weird. The
I don't know
ending,
if I need to
must
spoil
admit,
it, but it was it caught me off guard.
it caught me off guard, which I liked about it, which is what made me like it even more because I didn't expect that. So yeah.
bit of
Yeah,
family
so
love.
Yeah, I was gonna say the less said about that, the better. But yeah, thank you very much. That was 12 minutes. But Ian, Ross, Game of the Year 2021. Go for it. Off
So
mute.
I was actually thinking about it when I put it up. I said a different one for the 2021 podcast for the Game of the Year. And then now that I'm thinking back on it, I think it may have just been like recency bias because the game had not long came out when we'd done our show. So my one that I'm actually going to say is probably my Game of the Year was Resident Evil Village. And I know Jay will be happy to hear that because he gets to waffle on even more about Resident Evil and he doesn't have to wait till later.
Oh, don't worry. You wait till later, sir.
Exactly. No, just looking back on it, like the story, the setting, the just the characters, not just the ones. Obviously, I think everybody was expecting sort of the big lady to be the main character that you focused on throughout most of the game. But then when you start seeing like all the other characters, and like Heisenberg, the what was it, the House Benevito, and then the Doctor, what was it, Professor Moreau was the other one that was part of the four. All those characters are brilliant. The whole like werewolf aspect that they've got in it as well. Just everything about the game was fantastic. It looked amazing. It played amazing. The parts in the castle, everything. Just when I take time to like look back at it and like been playing it more recently in regards to trying to get so many different like. Would you call them cheats? Jay, you probably better want to say it. Obviously, when you go back and play Resident Evil games, you can unlock perks type idea.
Yeah, like modifier type things, really.
Yes.
Rather than you going in with no weapons.
You have to earn them type idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to earn them, so they're not really a cheat, but then they make the playthrough much easier once you've got them, for example.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to do some of that and get some of the like really overpowered guns that are in the game that are pretty much one-shot hits and take nearly everything out when you do it. Jay'll discuss side point at it, but obviously intrigued to see where they go with certain storylines that they brought up in the game in regards to like sort of Ethan's family and stuff like that. But no, loved it. Weapon choice was great. Is it the Duke who's the Emporium? Thought he was a fantastic
dude.
Yeah, I thought he was a fantastic character as well, just for like a bit of comedy. But yeah, I think I picked Halo during the show just because it had only just coming out. Whereas looking back, 2020 vision, I would say Village was definitely the game of 2021 for me.
Nice. Yeah, it was a fucking great game. Obviously, I'm not going to go on too much because it's Resident Evil and that always would be all night. But yeah, good choice, Ross. Good choice. Daniel, tell me all about your game of the year for 2021, please.
I'm sticking with my Marvel's Guardian of the Galaxy. The story was brilliant. I enjoyed the very single player linear kind of the way the game was. The way the Guardians kind of bounced off each other, where you had Rocket just at times taking the piss out of you, as well as trying to be the leader, and kind of the back and forth between him and Star-Lord was good. Yeah, it was just a really solid, good game, and I thoroughly was kind of sucked in and enjoyed every part of it. I
How
do
long
like
is the completion?
what, for me or for a normal person?
Normal person.
Well, it says, I think I remember seeing it was like, was it 15? I want to say 12 to 15 hours.
Oh,
Or if you wanted to, yeah, but if you wanted to get, like, there were other kind of collectibles that you could, you had like skill trees for each one of your Guardians. So if you wanted to kind of upgrade them, you had to go find, I can't even remember what you had to go find now, but there were certain bits dotted around the levels that you had to collect. So you could then unlock a more powerful attack for Drax, or kind of like a rope bridge for Groot. But yeah, it was solid. It was a good game. The only downside, I think, is obviously because you see the movies, you want to see the movie characters. within your Marvel games. However, that was probably the only bad thing about it, I'd like to say. Other than that, it was really, really, truly good fun. And obviously off the back of, oh God, what was it? The Avengers game. It's the best Marvel game we've had in recent times.
Yeah, no, because it
Glad
came
you
out.
said recent times.
It was the end of 2021 it came out, wasn't it? And then it come to Game Pass early this year, I think, was it?
Yeah, I think it came in I want to say February, March time.
Yeah, it was quite early, wasn't it? 'Cause
Quite early
didn't
on.
sort of sell very well, but come in and everyone's like, "Oh, it's amazing! Why don't we play it?"
Yeah, I think
Game Pass.
I don't think the marketing was too good, like in terms of all the hype. That it was kind of everyone was like, "Oh yeah, meh." But then if you actually played it, you were like, "Oh, actually, this is a really good game." I know quite a few people were on the fence about it. I think you were as well, Graham, weren't you, on the fence about getting it? And then,
Yeah, I wasn't sure, but I did actually buy it outright. I've kind of
Have you
quick go
completed
at it
it, or-
before. I haven't completed it yet. Juggling too many things, keep flitting around between too many, trying to
Too
play
many
too many at
fucking
once.
games to be playing.
Tell me
Yeah,
about it.
too many threads, but it played all right. It was quite decent when I played it, so
Yeah.
he's not wrong.
so
Nice.
I rarely am.
I mean, obviously not. You've got impeccable taste in gaming, Daniel, and the 2 or 3 you finish a year, it must be high quality if you enjoy them fully.
I have to say, look, this year I am on. Hang on, let me just see my little tally chart.
2.
I am on. Hang on a second. Hang on.
12.
I am on 33.
Oh,
Fuck off.
33.
a round of
games.
applause for you, Sarah. A round of applause.
Ian will probably take
Yeah.
about 7 or 8 of them off, but 33.
Yeah.
Rapid
well.
must be licking their lips.
I haven't touched a Rakalaisica game really this year. Sad times.
Well, there's still a couple of months in the year, but you've got time. You've got time to
Yeah,
add to your list. Thank you very much. So, Guardians of the Galaxy from Daniel, and then I guess it's just my turn. And you're all very excited to hear about the wonderful game called Lake once again. I don't think I spoke about it for very long last year.
Postman Pat. Postman.
I'll just I'll go through it very quickly. It's, as Ian alluded to, it's a postman simulator effectively, but the gist of it is about the characters and the story and stuff as you explore Providence Oaks as Meredith Weiss, as she comes to deliver mail and chat to people and meet people and make friends, basically. And it wasn't my highest scored review that I did last year, but when I come to think at the end of the year of all the games like Resident Evil and Halo and all these sort of things, it was just the one that kept coming to the top every time. I just enjoyed every second of it. It wasn't the most technical game, wasn't the most polished game, and it certainly wasn't the longest game, but I enjoyed it from start to finish. And yeah, it's just a wonderful experience. It's on Game Pass now. It's only maybe 8 hours at a push if you really take your time. And it's just something nice to chill out in an evening after you've been at work all day. Just sit down, deliver a bit of mail, chat to some people. All the voice acting is great. The story is really interesting. And just check it out. It's wonderful. Really, really enjoyed it. And I'd like to play it again some point soon. But as Graham alluded to, there's too many fucking games to be playing as it is, letting alone going back to visit something else that I've already played. So really, really, really very good. So go play Lake. That's it. I'm not going to go on any more about it because otherwise we'll be here all goddamn night. But,
Never deliver the same mail twice.
So that's the games of the year last year. Obviously, that's the end of this sort of segment. So if anyone's got any questions or comments or anything you'd like us to read out and ask each other and have a bit of a chat about, feel free to hit us up in the Discord or on Twitter if you're still using that wonderful place, or in the comments below or anywhere else. You can email us. All the email contact details, as Dan said, is down below or pinned to the top of Twitter or what have you. So go check it out.
Or on Dan's OnlyFans page.
Get in touch. Yeah. Send us some email, send some questions, send us some comments, some reviews, whatever you want, and we'll read them out.
I suppose if you want Dan's only, just let us know in the comments below. I'll hook something up.
Dan, you're under
I've
the
got the
belief.
pictures.
I was going to say you're under the belief that there isn't already one there from all the evidence that we have.
Well, let me sign up. Give me a slice of that pie.
Right. Anyway, so let's bring ourselves back to the future, gentlemen. The whole 11 months, exactly, from the past back to the future. Here we are right now. We're in the future.
Marty.
Anyway, we've got Project Game Pass going on, and I must admit, because I've been away for a few weeks on holiday, sunning myself in lovely Florida, I've not even attempted to look at this game. However, we picked for October. is
What song, Daniel?
I said, or get a tan.
Or get a tan. No, no.
Ooh.
Oh, okay, so I thought you were stopping
don't-
us for something different.
I don't do
Any and
tans.
tanning
I
don't
do
work.
tans. Anyway, we picked Evil, which is a social deduction game which come to Game Pass earlier in the month. I believe at least some of you have played it. Please, can you talk about it so that we can enlighten everybody about this wonderful experience?
No.
I think my biggest issue of it is, one, I played it by myself, which I don't think it's the ideal game to do. And two, I played it on the cloud, and I don't think I gave it enough sit down, big TV, solely focused on just that. Because I feel like if you're doing it multiplayer, you can do it and entertain yourself by obviously what's going on in game, but also by being a power of deduction type game, you can get more enjoyment out of it by bouncing stuff off the other player that you're playing with and things like that. So I feel like if you play it that way, you'll get a lot more out of this game. And I feel the cloud maybe wasn't the best way to experience it. So I've maybe not given it a fair hit by playing it on cloud, but I've had so much on that cloud was the only way I was getting a chance to play it.
So before anyone else jumps in, how many players are in like a lobby or a game, or whatever, and how many are
I think it's
the
about
bad?
8, I think.
How many are the bad eggs? As it was? Is it one
I
person,
think-
2 people?
I think you can have more. I think it was at 12 or 15.
Oh, yeah, it could be
as
quite a more. Yeah.
So if you can create your own lobby, have as many people as you want within the lobby, up to 12 or 15. Obviously, the more you have, the more bad guys there are. And within that subset, you've also got each character has like a task or a role to do.
A role.
A role, yeah. So there's oh god, there's a
that it
mayor,
explains
there's
anything.
a nurse. Yeah, you literally get thrown in it.
A detective.
So, yeah, me and Graham got thrown
Or a
in
villager.
our first game, and we had no idea what was going on. And
Yeah, one of us had a bad role, one of us didn't. We had no idea who was the bad guy.
Yeah.
The first one. The days kept passing. We're like, something needs to happen. We keep doing quests, we're getting money, but nothing's happening because we didn't realize one of us is.
What's the gist then? So you said the days go past. So when you jump into the
Yeah.
game, have you got like 20 minutes to, like in
Not
Project
even 20
Winter, like you've got to
6
try and get to the end exit or whatever? Have
No,
you got
so-
like a thing
seconds.
of,
It's like an overcomplicated Among Us in a way.
Yeah, I was going to say, Among Us is more what I would have described it as.
So you still got the whole. Someone's got to try and kill someone, and then you've got to find out who's doing it. That's still the same. You still got your round table where you have your huddles, and you can decide whether if someone's guilty or not, and they can either be killed or not. But during the day, you're supposed to sort of earn enough money to buy defenses so you don't get killed during your sleep.
Okay.
Or depending on what job role you have, like a detective can rummage through other people's drawers to see what their role is. You can scan people-ish or work out people to see what job role they've got. People can try and blag themselves and tell them, I'm this character, I've got this role, to try and sort of explain what they're doing. And basically, it's probably a bit more to it, but I was trying to be a detective and I got killed. Like, I got put up for trial saying I live next to the person that got killed. And obviously someone over there was one of the bad guys. He's like, yeah, he's dead. He needs to go. He's guilty. Because he was one of the bad guys.
Can you only get killed once you've had a round table, or can the bad people kill you while you're
The
doing
bad guy
the
can kill you.
job?
Like, you find dead in the street, and that's how they kind of try and deduce who did it.
Okay.
But once
kill
you're
you
dead,
whenever.
they can kill you whenever. Obviously, if you get spotted, it's the same with Among Us. You just try and get them out. And I've saw them kill them. They need to go, etc. And there's always people lying, saying, "I saw this person kill him. I watched it happen." And
I saw an event.
yeah, so that kind of shenanigans still happens. But once you're dead, it gets even weirder. You can try and encourage them to help find who the bad person is by doing sort of certain tasks. But the days go so quickly that you barely have a chance to even get a grasp of anything before it's suddenly nighttime again. And then you're just stuck in your bedroom while something could potentially happen. I assume the bad guys can kill certain people in their sleep if they're not get caught in the defenses.
So you said like a day is like 60 seconds or something? Or...
It was not 60 seconds, but it's not long. It's literally like 5 minutes, if that.
I don't think
And
it was that long. I honestly think it was 60 seconds because there was a little timer up because it goes so quickly. You can manage to knock out one task and then all of
Yeah.
a sudden it changes. And then nighttime, I think, is 20 seconds. And then it obviously cycles and repeats through that thing.
Yeah.
There was, when you say that, say like Graham's the bad guy, he goes into a jail and then there's a vote, a secondary vote where people either say he's guilty or not guilty, like on the floor. And if you all obviously stand on the guilty side, he burns up. If you stand on the not guilty side, he comes out of the prison or the jail and then gets to carry on his thing. So there's two chances of voting, which is quite good.
Okay. So, how many games did you play? Just a couple, was it?
I played about 3, I think, in the end. And luckily, Dan got to be the bad guy like twice. I never got the chance to play as the bad guy before. We just got so confused towards the end and just gave up.
Very confusing. It was very confusing. But we played with a nice bunch of lads that kind of talked us through. Well, I say nice bunch of lads. They outed you straight away, but
because you were a bad guy. Me, I got done straight away. I was like, I'm a detective, still trying to kill me.
Yeah, they were like, "Who are you?" I was like, "I'm a thief. Am I meant to tell you I'm a thief?" And they were like, "Nope." I was like, "Okay, then I'm not a thief."
So is it all voice chat, or is it like Among Us where you get the text chat come up and you got to try and...
No, it's voice chat. It's mainly voice chat. You can put a thing over your head who I'm this person, and you can nominate what you think someone else is to try and sort of steer them thinking, I think this person's, a bad guy. Yeah. And so everyone else can see it on their screen that you think that person's the bad guy. So you kind of get it into your head. So you watch out for them, etc.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of elements, but they're kind of just thrown so many things in at once that it's kind of plays like a overly complex Among Us.
Yeah. The learning curve is massive.
Yeah, see, that's the problem with something like this. Like Among Us, like you said, so simple and easy to, you take one game, maybe two, and then you're like, right, I know what I'm doing now. Whereas it sounds like this takes a lot more. Like you really got to get dedicated to play it regularly to be like, right, I need to know all the roles, I need to know all the places to go, I need to know how
exactly. You need to know
play
all of it, and then
characters.
I hope you get into a group of people that play it fairly and just not irritating and just basically calling out everyone, because we got quite a few loud people in one of the ones we played as well.
Nice. Well, it definitely sounds like something I'd like to try, but at the same time, I'm not willing to sort of sink a load of time in to figure it out right now. So maybe it'll have to wait until the Christmas break or something. But Ross, any more thoughts on it before? I know you said you only had a quick go, but
yeah, I mean the thing is, I really did enjoy how it looked. I really liked the art style of it. It gave me sort of Fable vibes for like the art style of it. I mean, like I say, it wasn't, from what I played, it wasn't necessarily that it was bad. It was just that I didn't get the full-fledged experience of doing like Dan and Gray and jumping into like a group and playing it like that. So that's the only reason that I've sort of sat in the middle of the fence and went like middle ground for it. I feel like jumping into a party, you'd probably get a higher score out of me for it, because the idea of it, like say, being a more sort of sophisticated Among Us, the artwork, I'd probably say in a group, I'd maybe give it 7, maybe. But yeah, where it sits just now, having what I've experienced, I have to go sort of middle of the road.
Fair enough. And Ian, you didn't play it like myself. I guess you didn't jump in.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance. So I only wanted to play with others, and I never got a chance to play with anyone else.
Yeah, well, again, maybe it still strikes as a game that it could be fun if we all got together one night, just for not outside of Project Game Pass, just a quick evening, have a laugh, have a little party, maybe get some of the other lads involved as well. But for now, that's it. That's done with Project Game Pass. We'll put the scores and bits up on the website that people have given it, with all the other Project Game Pass games we've done over the last 2 years, a year and a half, 2 years, something like that.
About that.
But we picked a new game for November, wishing the time away, and that is Deathloop. So this coming to Game Pass middle of last month as well. But we decided to have it this month, I should say. So we're going to play it. Hopefully, Graham will enjoy a bit of arcane action, a bit of stealth, a bit of shooting, have a bit of stealth, Gray. But it's definitely far more actiony than something like Dishonored, that's for sure. Has anybody had a chance to check it out yet? I know, Ross, you not played? I thought you played on PlayStation. No? Cool. So I've played maybe 4 or 5 hours on my PlayStation 5, but I haven't had a chance to get back to it for quite some time. So I'm going to carry on with that one. I think Ian, Dan, Gray, anyone checked it out yet?
Not yet.
It's installed, ready to play.
Likewise.
Played
Nice.
45 minutes. It's okay so
Nice.
far.
Yeah.
So Dan's completed it.
Nice. So you've sort of done part of a. Have you done one full loop yet, or have you?
No, haven't done full.
You haven't come back to the beach or anything yet.
No, I haven't done that yet.
Nice. So yeah, it's very good what I've played so far. But like I said, I want to carry on and get a bit further because I just started to get to the good stuff where you get the powers and the different unlocks and that. So yes, we'll go from there, and we'll talk about that over the next month or so, and then December. I'm sure there'll be plenty of games to choose from come December. Ooh. Anyway, let's move on to games we have been playing, that all of us have been playing, hopefully, including a game which it looks like almost everyone except for me and Ian has been playing. Daniel, Graham, Ross, tell us all about Gotham Knights, please.
Seems like a common theme of it for this episode.
What, 30 frames a second?
I'll let you two go first because I obviously my review's up for it, so I'll let you two go at it, and then I'll put my 2 pennies worth in.
All I'm going to say is it is very enjoyable. If you're going to complain about the 30 frames, I personally didn't notice anything that bad. I thought it played quite smoothly. It is probably a poor man's Gotham Knights. It's a poor man's Batman game, but it's enjoyable. That's probably the best I can.
That's all you can ask for, isn't it?
Well, exactly. I'm having fun, and I quite like the 2-player co-op aspect of it because you can both go at 2 ends of the map and crack on. But yeah,
nice.
I'll let Graham say what he wants to.
Yeah, it's great. It's the same sort of combat style as the Batman Arkham kind of games, with a few extra elements added in with sort of certain skills, which each character has their own sort of skills to sort of play with. There's tons of different costumes and add-ons and everything to kind of play with as well. And yeah, as other games like with Batman, there's other things to kind of pick up and do, and there's plenty to enjoy. There's loads of different sort of crimes to stop, loads of different stories. There's little minor detection areas that weren't the greatest, but they're there. There's just different things thrown in. And the same with the sort of the Batman games. As you go into sort of the bigger kind of cases, you can play them sort of gung-ho, or you can be a bit stealthy with them and try and sort of take them out without raising the alarm. And some of them have special objectives to try and do it with silent takedowns, or to even sort of go without being hit, or different kind of things like that to sort of rack up.
Now I'm intrigued.
Bits. With what? What do you mean?
Stealth. I love my stealth.
Elf action.
Yeah, well, a lot of the sort of the special objectives they get kind of are more stealth based. They love to try and get you to do silent takedowns and sort of play it that kind of way. But more often than not, they will come to a point where you just have to try and sort of combat your way out of it.
And who's your favourite character to play as?
At the moment, I'm probably taking more of a shine to Red Hood over the others. I played all 4 of them just to get a taste of all of them, and yeah, so yeah, they're all pretty good. They're similar to a point, but their different skills are kind of, and their range attacks are kind of what set them apart a little bit. But yeah, each are kind of fun in their own way. But yeah, after probably Red Hood, it's the Robin that I like to play as well. Not too keen on Nightwing or Batgirl, but yeah, it's fun. But you can switch through, and regardless of which one you pick, the level transfers over. So if you get up to like level 10 with one of them, they all become level 10. So when you switch,
that's good. So
you get to sort of apply abilities up to the level that each of them got to. So yeah, enjoying it. It's pretty good. I haven't played it together with them yet, but yeah.
Oh, you haven't. Oh, is it 4-player or 2-player?
It's 2-player at the moment. 4-player mode's coming. That's why I was holding up the 40 Dan when he said about the 2-player mode. It is coming to be full 4-player.
Fairly soon, isn't it?
Yes, they were making a big song and dance about it recently.
That'd be cool.
Who are your favourite characters, Ross and Daniel?
So I'll let Dan go first.
So I'm not Nightwing at the moment. I haven't switched. I've just played solely the Nightwing just because his costume
Any
look
reason?
cool. His costumes look cool. Yeah, there was nothing else about it, and I didn't want to pick.
He's got a tight ass.
Just those buns, and I was told I wasn't allowed to touch Red Hood by some weird Scottish person.
Can you not? I'm assuming you can't play as the same character then.
Not when you're doing co-op.
That would annoy me more than anything.
All jumping in as the same person.
4 Red Hoods running around.
So I, being the comic book geek that I am, I went into it knowing that Red Hood was going to be the guy that I was going to play the most time with. So Red Hood by default is mine. But if I'm looking at it from a more broad spectrum, Nightwing would probably be my number 2. I think I really like his combat with his screamer sticks. I haven't played a lot of Robin. I think again it's more just the character. I don't like Tim Drake as a character, so he just like automatically just to one side for me. Batgirl's fun. She's got quite a lot. She benefits a lot. Her and Nightwing benefit a lot more from having multiple people in your group. So, like Nightwing's skill tree, for example, a lot of it is to buff other players within the party. Okay. So, some of his like more passive ability means like the ranged attacks for the other people in the party do 5% more damage for every player that's in the party. So she's got quite a good set of skills if you're adding her into a group. But probably Nightwing would be my second favourite, but Red Hood was always going to be the one that I sort of gravitated towards.
Fair enough. So obviously, when the 4-player comes out, I think we'll have to get a bit of a group going on. I know there's 5 of us. I can't count. But,
has Danny? How far are both of you in? Have you both completed it?
No,
Daniel completed it.
Hey, no, I'm by the Court of Owls.
You just discovered the Court of Owls?
Yes, I just done that puzzle that was really bloody annoying.
Right, you've got about 20 hours left then.
Yeah, I'm about the same kind of bit I've been doing.
Yeah, no, I
put it at the same point.
I don't know exactly how many hours I put into it, but I put a fair few hours into it. I've polished it off.
Nice. Yes, we'll play that. Anything else before we move on to the next game?
Sounds good.
Nice. So, according to the list here, we've got another game that's been played by most of you as well, which is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, which came out recently. We got Daniel, we got definitely not Graham, Ross, and Ian playing it. Gentlemen, please tell us all about this wonderful modern military shooter that seems to be doing quite well.
I'll jump in first because I've probably played the least of it. I've only just went across into Mexico. But from what I've played, or not Mexico, but the place where they call it, they say it's Mexico, but it's not Mexico. I've only just got up to there. Looks wise, the game is fucking stunning. It's like just wow. Some of the earlier levels where you've got to do one where you're underwater, amazing. The clearing out of the house, it's like high value targets in this house. Helicopter comes in, don't blow the house to the ground, and it's like it fucking gets annihilated, and you're like, yep, that was not what we asked, but okay. But no, so far campaign's brilliant, and I think for the fact that the campaign's been as enjoyable as it is so far, it's actually really making me want to jump in the multiplayer.
Multiplayer is good,
which is something that in a Call of Duty game I never thought I'd really say, but I'm really enjoying the gameplay and things like that of it so far.
Fair enough. Ian, Daniel?
So yeah, I'm enjoying the campaign at the moment. I'm probably just around the same where Ross is, I think. But yeah, so far really good. I'm actually enjoying it for once. You know, sometimes you get, especially I think what's it more? I think I'm more hyped for Modern Warfare because I see with Vanguard, I just went nope. I saw the kind of looks of the story and thought it doesn't interest me. Whereas this one, I'm kind of slowly warming to it. Again, it's one of those ones where the story's with a clusterfuck, but hopefully it all comes full circle and you kind of realize what's going on.
How tight does it stick to the original Modern Warfare 2? Because I played that way back in the day, but I've not really thought about it since then.
I don't think it's at all similar. I sort of think it's a whole new standalone game story.
What I was reading about it is it's a bit of a retcon. So the original Modern Warfare's games in regards to the Modern Warfare world are not canon, Whereas the new iterations that have basically had Ghost as the protagonist and a couple other games are now what they class as canon for the Modern Warfare world. So the last Modern Warfare that they did the whole big revamp in regards to this one, and there was 2 other games. Obviously, everything that's happened in Warzone is canon, and something else as well, which I can't remember. There's a backstory how where Verdansk comes from in regards to how it ties in with Ghost, Soap, and things like that. But everything that was the original Modern Warfares that we think of, all of that is just a storyline that's in a different universe to what it is nowadays.
I never thought of Call of Duty having a cinematic
Well, neither
universe.
did I, but that was what the more recent sort of things have been about it.
Fair enough. And Daniel, you've been playing some. You've been enjoying it. You've been playing the multiplayer or just the single player as well?
So, believe it or not, shock horror, I am only 40 minutes away from the end. I'm the furthest. I know.
Shit.
In a 3-hour game.
In a 3-hour game. So, yeah, no, it's really good. I can't add any more that than Ross and Ian have said about the campaign. It's great. There's the slight annoyance of the certain missions that grate on me, but that's by the by. That's just the mechanics of how sometimes COD does their campaigns.
Like what?
So the one where you had to swim in Amsterdam, that frustrated me. That was annoying.
That was fun. I did that.
I love that
the-
mission.
I got both achievements to that one. I got the one.
Yeah,
when
I
being
did not.
seen.
Shoot
I went
somebody
loud.
from underneath the water and don't be
Yeah.
seen until the end of the match.
Yeah, I was loud. And then there is that helicopter
Hey, you want to
one.
recruit as well, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
And the helicopter one, you know, where you're in an Apache and then you've got to try and. No, okay. There's a part
Way ahead
where
of
you're-
us.
Yeah, that's where it'll be. Yeah.
Yeah, you're in an Apache and you've got to look after the 4 guys in the
Four guys?
helicopter. It's frustrating.
For the guy. For
4 guys. You have to look after 4
not
guys.
for the
I
guy.
was
Full
going to
guys.
say.
Listen, yeah. So
Even
other
for
than that,
flat physics. Even for flat physics.
yeah, Human Fall Flat. Do you know that game? Yeah, and I've enjoyed the online multiplayer as well. I've been playing a little bit of that.
We need to play together. Actually,
Yes,
yeah,
we
we should
do.
play together. It'd be fun.
we
I can
should.
bully
Yeah,
you.
I'll be the meat shield, or I'll cover your 6.
You can give me some meat, that's for sure.
Oh yes. Nice.
Italian
nice.
sausage. Yeah, so that's Call of Duty. It's good. Go buy it.
I'm very much intrigued
Actually,
to
yeah.
play both this and the Modern Warfare reboot, but I'm going to wait till they come to old Game Pass, I think, to get my
free.
Call of Duty fix, unless I can find them. I mean, they're never cheap, are they? I saw Modern Warfare on sale for like £25. Oh, fuck off. Sale, that's not a sale.
Well, this one was
It was
this
3 years
70
later, no
quid?
way.
I was
This
a bit
was-
upset that I had to pay 70, but
This was the full shabahang.
yeah, it was this 70 or £100, wasn't it? So I
For
was
the
like, oh,
Super Duper whatever edition, yeah.
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 Well, Ian's going to be reviewing it for us because he's very kind. So his review will be up at some point, probably before Christmas. We'll see.
Ooh,
Before
bitch.
the discount hits.
Yes.
Cool. So Call of Duty done. Gotham Knights done. I'm going to jump in very quickly one of mine, and then we'll go back to you lads because that's how things work. I've been playing because I was away on holiday. I decided, in my infinite wisdom, to pick up Resident Evil 6 on the
Wow.
Switch. Which, as any regular listeners listening might know, I've often spoke about my hatred for this game because it's fucking shit. But I'm a sucker for Resident Evil. What can I say?
And
And it
playing
was
it
on
on the
sale.
Switch, I can't
Yeah,
imagine made it much better.
It was on sale, and I needed something to play on the plane. And the 5 other games I bought for some reason weren't doing it for me. So I was like, well, let's just play some. Let's go for Resident Evil 6, shall we? And I must admit, it's not as bad as I remember. It's not good. It's definitely not good, but it's not quite as bad as I remember. I've only played the first couple of chapters of Jake's campaign so far. So Jake and Sherry teaming up, and he's like a more of a melee fighter. He's got guns as well, but he uses his powers to punch and kick things and beat the shit out of them.
I was going to say,
And-
Jake's the superpower guy, yeah.
Yeah, he's no spoilers, but spoilers. He's like an offspring of Wesker or something to do with Wesker. And yeah, he just basically punches and kicks and suplexes people and stuff. And it was quite fun, actually. I was surprised how much I was enjoying like the first maybe hour or so because it was just fighting lots of the I forget what they fucking call them again now, but the infected people. And then I got to the bit where you meet Chris and you have to fight the giant fuckers. And I was like, I remember why I didn't like this game. This bit is absolute bullshit. And it just I end up just sitting around basically waiting for the AI to do stuff, which was not the most exciting experience in the world. But like I said, I've got a bit further than that. I think I'm near the end of chapter 2 with him, and it's not as bad as I remember, but it's definitely the worst Resident Evil I've ever played. Mainline one anyway. It's better than it's definitely better than Operation Raccoon City and some of the other spin-off ones.
Well, without going spin-offs, which is the best?
Which is the best?
Worst, I mean, sorry.
Worst. Oh, this by a mile. It's the thing that suckered me in was I watched the trailer for it, and there's a bit with Chris and Leon pointing the guns at each other, which I know doesn't happen until you finish all 3 campaigns. So I was like, that was really awesome. So I just want to play through it again just to get to the end where everything sort of converges into one. But yeah, it's not good, but it's not as terrible as I remember. So and on the Switch, like you said, Ross, it actually plays surprisingly well. Like it runs really well. It looks quite nice. It looks like the 360 version basically, and yeah, the controls work about as well as I remember, which is not very well, but well enough. So I'll keep playing some more. I'm looking forward to saving Leon's campaign to the last because that's the best one. So I'm going to do Jake, going to do Chris, and do Leon. I'm like I said, what can I say? I'm a sucker for punishment. I almost bought Resident Evil 5 as well, just so I had and I was like, no, I can't do both of them. That's just gonna.
You picked the worst of the two, though.
I know.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I definitely
picked something, that's for sure.
Yeah, I definitely picked the worst one, but I'm a fucking chump. I know I am, but I was in a Resident Evil mood, shall we say, because I was also reading a Resident Evil 2 book, like retelling the story of the events of Resident Evil 2, and that sort of got me in the mood. So I thought, well, it's got Leon in it, it's got Sherry in it, it doesn't have Claire in it, but it's got Ada, yeah.
And Hunk.
So I got suckered in, and like I said, not as bad as I remember, but definitely not a very good game. Right, Graham, let's get back to you. Tell me all about one of your other titles you've got here, please.
Yeah, I've got 2. I haven't fully explored one of them yet. That's the Jackbox Party 9, mainly because these extra games need like a minimum of 4 people, so it's not the easiest to kind of pull off.
Why have we not played this?
I mean, this would be ideal for all of us to jump into.
Because you kind of need to be in the same room to play it, or you have to kind of Twitch stream it to try and pull it off. It's possible.
Just stream it to our YouTube and do it that way. Like, I'm sure Dan, I don't know if you've been part of the ones that I've been part of, but I know they ran in the same sort of circles.
It's still timer, isn't it? So you just stay on the timer.
Yeah, it works like perfectly well. Like I would definitely say that like it would be any hassle running this.
I think it'd be great laugh with all of us. Because we played it through Skype before, wasn't it, Gray?
Yeah, we have.
I was there as well.
Yeah. So there's numerous ways to go around playing it. And I
remember once Jamie was Twitch streaming one, and I just joined as a random name. He was freaking out. Who the fuck is this person?
But even as you say, like you don't need to like the Twitch was just a thing that somebody could see a screen. With things like Skype and Zoom and stuff like that now, and being able to share screens. There's numerous different ways to doing it because that like the Jackbox games are fantastic.
I agree.
And you've got 5 people here, so at least 4 players. So yes, we'll jump into that at some point. Is there many new games on this one? Because they tend to recycle some of them, don't they? But...
They do. Well, one is recycled Fibbage, and that's kind
but Fibbage is OG.
Fibbage is
that's the best one of it, and it's not far different from the third one. There's still sort of an about you mode where you can add your own kind of questions. It's exactly the similar model, and they've added in the same bit from last, but you can stop it from being so US centric as well to sort of give it a bit more of a broader appeal. And they've tweaked, I think it's just the final stage of it. So you submit an answer, but there's 2 different answers. There's 2 different questions basically, and your answer could fit both. So you've got to search for the 2 correct answers out of everyone else's answers. That one fits one and one fits the other. So you've got like 2 chances to basically fool someone.
Yeah. So
it's quite cool that way. The other new one that we kind of played together, I played with my wife, and that's called Quicksort. And basically you get given a subject One of them, for example, my one is put these organs in order from highest to lowest, from where it comes out. So it'll be like kidneys, and then you've got like one end, like a conveyor belt from one end and the other end, and you've got to kind of lay it where you think it is on the body, and then the next one could be like throat or larynx. So you put that close to the head end. The next one could be like it was to the head, neck to the hip. So it's like hip or pelvis, for example. So you put that at the lower end, and you just kind of got.
Okay, so I just saw Dan give it a little smell. I know what he was doing.
I know exactly, isn't it? I was like, I know exactly what he means. So I was like,
but you kind of get like 8 different organs, and they throw in random things that aren't organs or ones that out of the range of where it said it is, and those ones you've got to throw in the bin. And then at the end, it kind of tells you how much of the correct order you've put them in, and then that's how many kind of points you get. I think my wife got the song "I Will Survive." You know, first I was afraid, I was petrified. No, you got different lyrics to the song. You got to put it in the order of whereabouts it was in the song.
Okay.
And you kind of got to gauge because you don't know what's coming up. So you can stack them on top of each other, but you just kind of got to get them in the correct order.
Yeah.
And the final stage, you get the same sort of thing, but any that are connected in the right bit stay where they are, and you get like a second chance to try and get the correct kind of order. But some of the questions on there was just super hard. But that was quite fun. But that one is a team-based game, so you kind of got. Okay. So it was like boys and girls kind of thing. So you all kind of work together of where you think it can be kind of stacked, and you kind of contribute to it that way. I assume if you're all playing, you can all choose to move it and sort of drop it, because it kind of falls in like a Tetris kind of style. So you just got to shift it across where you think it is.
Down. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I assume you don't obviously want to sabotage your own team, but you kind of got to come to an agreement of where you're going to drop it.
On Dan's team, then that's for sure.
Yeah, that one was quite. So those are the only kind of two. There is a kind of a drawing one, and the other ones that kind of involve a bit of role play, which tend not to work very well. But I need to kind of try and find a way of doing a deep dive into those ones to see how they play. And the only other title I've played was a Ratalaika special called Bones of Halloween.
Which is it a Ratalaika game? Is it?
Yeah, I didn't know that at first. It just looked like it's just your typical sort of a standard Halloweenish kind of game where you just got like walking kind of pumpkin head things coming towards you, and you kind of shoot them. But it's so basic, you can't even kind of zoom in with the gun. You just you're just looking and aiming, and it's just like it's almost just like it feels like it's set in the same kind of areas like the Slenderman kind of game, and it's just like a big square of forest.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's all the kind of game is. That in different modes. So after you kill kind of like 8 pumpkin heads, you get like a perk, and then you click on it and either be a positive one or a negative one. It says like enemies are 10% bigger. Your gun is 5% more powerful. You move 10% slower. You got to pick off like 5 cards, and some are good, some are bad. You just got to hope for a good one. But it's quite buggy at times because you earn coins when you kill enemies, which you can use to buy guns.
Yeah.
But when you buy the guns and the ammo runs out, there's supposed to be a button to throw the gun away, but the gun doesn't go away. And there's also a bit where you can reload your gun, and if you buy the reload, the bullets don't seem to reload. So I'm either weird. Doing it wrong, or the game's just that tiny bit buggy. But it's not bad. It is a little kind of fun playthrough, but don't expect anything kind of epic. It's just every different one is just a variation of a survival mode.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it looks interesting. It looks kind of like a budget version of what's it called, Demon Pit, I think it was called, where literally, like you said, just running backwards, just shooting things, trying to survive for as long as possible.
It kind of is. There's like 4 or 5 different types of enemies, and just 4 or 5 different. There's challenges. Some like earn enough money to buy an upgrade, and that's the challenge, and you get an achievement for it. So it's a bit of an achievement mine. So
there is a November monthly bonus Microsoft for all points.
I've already got that because of those ones.
Nice. That I know what I'm using then. Cool. So check them out. I believe you'll be reviewing both of them.
Yes,
at some point in the very near
I've still got
future.
another 2 on the go as well, but I think they might both be redacted.
Nice. Well, yes, we can talk about them at some point in the near future. Ross, tell me all about Fallout 4. Why are you playing Fallout 4? Old game is old.
can't remember what. There was a reason why I jumped back into it for life. I can't remember what it was. I think it was
So he
something
couldn't
to-
play Football Manager.
No, that's yeah.
Or
that's-
23 comes out soon, baby.
Well, you could be a mug and pick it up for free on Game Pass, or you could be an idiot like me and buy £33 to play the beta. But yeah, shut up. No, I think it was something to do with the Creation Club. I think because they were doing something to do with Halloween, I'm sure, or something to do with the anniversary. Basically, something to do with the Creation Club was giving you loads of free stuff that you could add into it. Creation Club, for people who don't know, it's basically things that Bethesda's own team are like creating. So it's like weapons, armors, add-ins to the game and things like that. So it's basically like the mod section, but it's ones that are designed by Bethesda or by Bethesda approved modders.
Yeah.
And they hide some of them behind a paywall, some of them are free to play. But they were doing a massive section of them that were all just free. So decided to jump back in. Love the game. I know Gray's a fan of the Fallout series as well. Love the setting, being in Boston, being a Patriots fan for the NFL and things like that. It's just a brilliant place to play it. The characters, nearly all the sort of companions that you can get are all fantastic. The DLCs in the game as well. Far Harbor is fantastic. The Nuka World one, the Automatron, where you can get like your own robot army type idea. It's one of the. It's not the best Fallout in regards to overall, but it's the one that's got the most in it. It's the most fleshed out. There's so much to do. The game's massive. The storylines. It's not the worst. It's not the best one either, but it's definitely a solid storyline. Plus, just how nice it looks in regards to the sort of newer engine that they use compared to sort of 3 in New Vegas.
Aren't they bringing out a Series X and S update at some point soon?
They are sometime next year. Early part of next year, it's due to be getting a 4K 60 frame, no, 4K 120 frame mode, I'm sure.
Nice. I mean, that's not going to encourage me to go back to it at all. But I thought I'd just ask.
Yeah, no, I mean the thing is, it sort of goes in the face of what Dan said in regards to Gotham Knights, because I mentioned in the review, the whole 30 frames doesn't bother me. Not Gotham Knights, it runs perfectly smooth. But playing this, you can actually get mods that allow you to get a sort of more unlocked frame rate type idea. Yeah. And playing it with those unlocked frame rates it's beautiful. It runs so smooth. Everything about it's just that bit nicer. So there is games that benefit from it. But no, looking forward to jumping in. I'll do the same with The Witcher. I know that's got its next gen update coming out shortly as well, and it'll be the exact same as Fallout once that comes back. If I've dropped off playing it when new games come into this year, when that big sort of next gen update comes out for it, I'll be pulled right back in to complete it again.
Very nice, very nice. Well, keep us updated. Hopefully, it'll be worth the wait for the update, and then you only got like 15-20 years until the next Fallout to wait, so
roughly.
No rush.
I was talking to my mate about when it might come out, and we're thinking about it. You've still got Starfield that's not launched yet. Then you've got Elder Scrolls. Yeah. Then you've got Fallout.
Yeah, so you got a little bit of a wait, but good things come to those who wait, supposedly.
Yeah.
We'll see about that. Thank you very much, Ian.
Yes.
Tell me all about your other game you've been playing this week, which you're also going to review.
Yes.
The Fable double review.
I know. I've actually got the review ready to send to you. So I'm playing a game called.
So you'll get it Thursday.
Yeah.
Of January the 16th.
Not that bad. Not as bad as Dan. Anyway, Arkanoid. Yes, kind of with the old school classic from 1980s. Basically, it's this, but beautifully remastered.
Is that what that game's called?
Yeah, Arkanoid.
It one version of it. It was called Breakout on the Atari.
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't realise that was the name of it.
Yeah, on the Commodore 64, it was called Arkanoid as well.
Yeah. So basically, it's a fully, modernized version of it. They've also got the kind of the retro game in it as well. And what's good about it is because when back in the day, you just play it, and then when you die, there's no chance to it. But this time, it lets you continue, so you can keep going through all the levels. Unfortunately, my biggest gripe of it is I got to level, I think, 12 or 13. I thought, okay, I'll stop and I'll just quit and go back another day. And obviously, no, my podcast is all gone. So you have to do it all in one sitting if you actually want to see the end, which is a
It's
long
got
time.
a battle royale.
It's also got a yeah, I was getting there.
It just come up in the trailer. I was
It
like,
came
"Hey,
up with the trailer, and I was like, "Sorry, what?"
Yes, there's a battle royale mode, which is the main crux of it. So it's you versus 25 players. Think if you've played Tetris 99.
Yeah, I was about to say it looks similar to that. Sort of
Similar
thing.
to that. So basically, you pay through the levels. How it works is you play Arkanoid. It cycles through random levels, but everyone gets the same cycle. You have a certain time limit to actually complete the level, and if you don't, you basically all the bricks that you have left will get deleted, and you get minus score. And it's the most score throughout the level games win. You've also collect power ups, so you can either hit the person in front or the person behind. And that will get like a certain thing that happens, like the screen will go fuzzy, or all their bricks will go like gold, so you can't even delete them. Certain things like they can't get us points, or the ball will go really fast, and that way they'll die and then lose points. If you do die, you get 10% of your score removed. So obviously you got to keep playing. You can't just sit there and wait, because if you sit there and wait, all the bricks will just get deleted, and then you would obviously lose your points then. So it's kind of good. Maybe if you've got like maybe 1 or 2 bricks left, it's just maybe just wait a bit, and then I think it's like after that. I think how long the time frame is of each new board. I want to say like a minute maybe, but I know it's about 20-30 seconds. After a few minutes, people start getting deleted and eliminated. And then when you get to the final 4, this is where shit goes crazy, and then you get like a boss fight, and then 4 of you are kind of technically working together to defeat the boss, and then but not really working together because it's more about getting points. So you're trying to defeat the boss while getting points, and again, it's basically last one standing wins.
Fair enough. I mean, that's something I didn't expect to hear from an Arkanoid remaster, because this is part of their, was it Recharge, our Atari Recharge series? And I played a couple of them and I wasn't a massive fan, but this one is definitely more up my street. So have you won a battle royale yet, or have you?
Oh God, no. So basically, it's all, a lot of it is just like you won't get many players. Even with cosplay, I didn't find many players, and the most I had in one was 4. The highest I got is 4th. I literally got into the final boss, like, oh, what's this? I was excited, like, oh, like, I got too excited, and I died pretty much like within 20 seconds. I just died. So I was like, probably got too excited. I know what the fuck was going on. But other than that, I've only done it once, and then that, I'm normally like consistently top 10. I can't get I haven't got anywhere close to the 4th. Like the 4th, I've got done that once, and then no one else. I've never gotten that. The AI are ridiculously overpowered as well, so they know how to play. So it's kind of, if they maybe toned down the AI difficulty, so you had a bit more chance of getting to the phone a bit, it'd be a bit more fun. But yeah, they've ramped up the AI compared to like Tetris 99, where I can easily win with AI. Yeah. Here they like, nope, they don't give you a chance.
Fair enough. Yeah. So like, you're gonna be reviewing that for us.
But I know also one big bugbear of this, as well. Apart from us, I've got a few in my review. The main one is it's like 25 quid. And for an Arkanoid game, that's a lot. It's like, I think that's
expensive.
That's I think they've price pointed it really bad. So what I mentioned in my review, like, I don't think it should be this much. From what I played of it, I don't think
it seems like that perfect sort of $7.99 type game. Like, here's a classic you remember. Give it a bit of a new coat of paint and a couple of new modes. That's what I mean.
It will get so much more exposure and so much more people playing. Like I've seen like human players maybe twice, and I've played quite a few of the battle royals. I've given a good chunk of my time. I've everywhere I see humans, and that's with cosplay turned on. So yeah, it's quite. That's the only like, oh, why did they do that? But apart from that, good fun.
Nice, excellent, lovely. Thank you very much.
And now I've just seen the trailer, so I'm going to go to sleep.
Well, so I mean, as I said, I'm on a bit of a Resident Evil kick this week. Resident Evil 6, reading the book, and I also have just last night finished the DLC for Resident Evil Village, Shadows of Rose. So this is a long-awaited DLC, which puts you in the control of Rosemary Winters, Ethan's daughter, and she. It starts off where she's saying she's getting bullied at school for being a weirdo and a freak and stuff, and one of the agents that she's working with, Kay, says he's figured out a way to get rid of her powers to make her like a normal teenage girl again. and she jumps at the chance. She has to. I can't remember how to pronounce it. Ross, maybe you can help me. Is it Megamycete or something? Megamycete? Do you remember? It's been a while. I know it's been a while. Anyway, whatever it is, she sort of bonds with this sample that they've got, and she goes into like almost like an alternate dimension, and she works her way through trying to get this crystal that will supposedly get rid of her powers, and that's the whole motivation for her going in there. So the beginning bit is set in the what's her name? Lady Dimitrescu mansion. But it's like a twisted version, so there's slime all over the floor, and like monsters will come out of the slime to try and eat and kill Rose. And there's again, I won't spoil too much, but the very first sort of main antagonist, as it were, is a twisted version of the merchant you mentioned earlier on, the big fat dude sitting in the chair, and he's got a mask on, and he's basically an evil person trying to kill Rose. There's explanations down the road, which again I won't get into because I don't want to spoil it for people. But it's really weird, it's really messed up, and it's really quite freaky because even though you get guns and she's got the power, like her special powers where she can freeze enemies to try and kill them a bit quicker, she's still quite weak, so she can only take 1 or 2 hits before she gets killed. And even though it takes place in like familiar places, like I said, Dimitrescu Mansion, and then there's a couple of other places later on, they're all slightly twisted. So do you remember when you went into the courtyard of the mansion, of the Dimitrescu Mansion, Ross? And there was like that, so, yeah, it's sort of like 4 or 5 different routes off of it. You go off of them, but you need new keys to get through, or there's some routes that are blocked. And then when you go through again, everything's sort of just, it's how you remember it, but ever so slightly off.
Yeah.
And it's all played in third person. There's no first person in this DLC, which makes it feel more like Resident Evil 2 and 3 and stuff like that.
So obviously that's something that's coming to the main game. The third person
that comes with this DLC as well.
So
yeah.
how does it feel in third person? Because that's something that interested me. I prefer a third person game.
Do you see his face?
No.
You don't actually. And again, without spoiling it, he's featured in some like flashbacks and stuff and different bits like early on. And every single time you see him from the front, he's like doing this, or he's got a gun up, or Rose is in front of him, or something. Like you never, the most you ever see is like a top-down view, and you can sort of see like his nose and his mouth while he's talking, but you don't ever get a full frontal face. And apparently, I haven't played the main game yet with the third person, but if you turn the camera, it will just keep turning away, so you never get to see his face.
That's what I was going to ask. What happens? There we go, like that.
And like in the when you put in the photo mode, you can't swing it round to the front. You have to try and swing the camera around. So he's just forever going to be like, "No photos, please. No photos, please."
Deal with not see his face.
I think it's just like an in joke now at this point.
Yeah, that's it.
They just love winding people up. But it took me 3 hours and 7 minutes to beat. And I died a fair few times because there's a few bosses in there that are actually really quite tough. But I enjoyed it. The story itself was quite interesting, the way it sort of developed, and like I said, the twisted take on the different places and the characters and stuff. And as other people have said, I've not read any reviews, but I've seen sort of comments and stuff online where it sort of wraps up the Winter's storyline, as it were. So you get Rose's sort of almost a full arc in this game, and then now they've sort of set it to be like a fresh start for whatever Resident Evil 9 will end up being. Excuse me. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's like I said, it's not the longest. It's quite hard at points, but it's not too hard. And it relies on a little bit of knowledge of Village, but not too much. Like if you haven't played Village yet, you probably could just play this. Obviously, you'd have to buy the game, but I don't know why you would play it without playing Village. But it won't be like, I haven't played Village. I have no idea what's going on. And yeah. I enjoyed it. So I'm going to write up my review. I was going to do it today, but I didn't get a chance. So probably tomorrow night. And it'll be on xboxtavern.com very soon. Yes, highly recommend it. And it also adds in mercenary characters, Lady Dimitrescu and Chris Redfield. I've only got a chance to play as Chris so far, but he's a lot more powerful than Ethan. He's got his big fucking guns, figurative and literally, and he just punches the shit out of everything. And it's quite fun playing as him. I quite enjoyed the mercenary mode. I played a couple of rounds with him. Yeah, so definitely go check that one out. I don't know how much it is, but I don't think it's too expensive. And like I said, you get a few other bits and pieces with it as well. So well worth going and checking out. Nice. Anyway, that's
Happy
about it
days.
for what we've been playing. Let's get into a quick couple of reviews from the team. So while I've been away, everyone's been keeping the site running. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, Ian. Thank you, Jake. Thank you, everybody else who wrote some reviews and bits and pieces while I was away. We got Nickelodeon Kart Racers by James. He gave it 7.5. Pathfinder, Wrath the Righteous from Graham. He gave it an 8.1. Gas Station Simulator, which I did read, but I must admit, I think I read that when I was poorly when I was away, so I don't remember much of it. But Corey gave it a 7.5. It sounds like an interesting game. Excuse me. Ross's review of Gotham Knights come up is give it an 8. Jake reviewed a very interesting title, which I'm very looking forward to playing at some point soon. The Last Hero of Nostalgia, which is like a Souls-like retro game that's got lots of in-jokes and references to video games. It looks really good, and I really enjoyed our time with it at... Where did we play it? WAS, wasn't it? Or EGX, one or two. Yeah, really enjoyed that. Overwatch 2 by Bubba, gave it a 9. I think it's sort of come on since it launched. And finally, AJ reviewed, Jesus Christ, Asterigos Curse of the Stars. And he another Souls-like game, but he wasn't overly taken with it. He gave it 6.3. Like I said, there'll be plenty more reviews this week and in the weeks coming on xboxtavern.com. Go check them out. That'd be wonderful. I think most of us got several on the go, so we'll keep you entertained and informed with all the information. However, if you don't want to read our reviews, which you should do, but if you don't want to, it's fine. You just want to play games coming to Game Pass. Ross, there's quite a list coming this month. Tell us all about it.
So I'll just run through all of them, might as well. We've got The Legend of Tiang Ding come back. So these ones have just come out, which was November 1st. Ghost Song, November 3rd. Return to Monkey Island, which was fucking terrible. That's the one I played on the Steam Deck. It's a reading simulator. Is November 8th. The only one that you need to worry about for November 8th, Football Manager 23. Whoop, whoop. Vampire Survivors, Jay, I think you said earlier on the show that was
coming to
November
Xbox at last.
Flight Simulator 40th Anniversary Edition on November the 11th. Pentiment, which is Obsidian, am I right in saying?
Obsidian's, yeah, like Monty Python looking game that creeps me out. Anyway.
That's November 15th. Somerville is November 15th, and Gungrave GORE is November 22nd.
Nice. So some decent games coming out. That Somerville looks particularly interesting by some ex-Playdead people, so the people about Limbo and Inside. So I think that would be worth checking out in just over a week.
Did we mention Football Manager 23, yeah?
I believe you mentioned Vampire Survivors. Okay. Yes. Ian, it's not all good news though. Things come, things go. What's leaving us?
So unfortunately, Football Manager 2022 also leaves. So unfortunately, you get the old one out when the new one comes in.
That is actually being delisted as well from the Xbox store.
Correct.
I read earlier on.
It happens all the time. Yeah, so it always gets listed.
Side note on just when we're talking about Football Manager, sorry, Ian. Sorry, I forgot to mention it earlier.
Jesus. What do we do?
Did you see that Sony fucked up?
What did they do?
Didn't they always?
They didn't send a dev kit to the guys at Sports Interactive, so they weren't able to make the PlayStation 5 version of Football Manager 23, so it won't launch on PlayStation because Sony fucked up and didn't send them a dev kit.
But when's it coming off PlayStation?
Yeah,
no, it's one game, isn't it? Sorry.
It was basically Microsoft, can we get a dev kit to make your game? Yeah, no worries. Steam, can we get a dev kit to make your game? Yeah, no worries. PlayStation, can we get a dev kit? And then they never done it. So it's not coming to PlayStation. They had to refund all pre-orders for Football Manager 23.
I mean, I must admit, I didn't read that story.
That's crazy.
So it's not coming at all, or is it just delayed?
It'll be coming delayed.
I thought it was cancelled.
I think they've cancelled all pre-orders with the intention of trying to get it fixed as soon as possible. But whenever they're going to basically have to develop it as soon as they get a dev kit to make it.
I mean, that seems fucking stupid that you'd leave it like a week before. By the way, we haven't actually started the PlayStation version yet.
That's going to be a 50-50, surely.
Sony done fucked up.
Well, surely they done fucked up by not realising. Shit, we've done the Xbox, we've done PC. Something we're forgetting.
No, they had requested.
Switch.
That's the thing. They requested it. The Miles Jacobson, the guy that actually is like the main guy to do with Football Manager at Sports Interactive, he was tweeting out about it. He was like, "No, we requested the dev kit at the same time we requested all the other ones." And Microsoft and everybody were really great at getting back to us, and Sony just seemed to be like, and yeah, nothing ever came of it.
You'd think
Interesting.
it'd affect their income as well. That it'd harass them. Something rotten.
Well, yeah, I think most of the players are playing it on PC, to be fair. But at the same time, there'll be a smaller market on PlayStation that are going to be like, what the fuck?
Game Pass is bad because pay in place.
Yeah,
Anyway,
exactly.
we don't need to get down that. Carry on in. Football Manager 22 is leaving. Next title, please.
Next title is Art of Rally is leaving. Fae Tactics, Next Space Rebels, One Step from Eden, and Superland.
That's very disappointing.
But also maybe Subnautica, but they're not too sure yet.
Fair enough. Yeah, definitely play Superland before the 15th. I mean, it's going to take you longer than the 15th to beat it, but it's fucking brilliant. What a great game. Runner-up game of the year 2020. Fucking brilliant. Anyway, Graham, if people aren't, down with the kids, like we like to say, they ain't got Game Pass. They're like, it's too much money. I'd rather just pay for Games of Gold because I get so many good games. Tell them what kind of wonderful games they can get this month.
They can pick up Bomber Crew until November 15th, and they can pick up Praetorians, the HD remaster, until the 30th of November. And then we've got Dead End Job coming on November 16th till the December 15th.
Nice.
Bomber Crew is actually a really fun game.
Yes, that was. Is it a Team 17 game?
Yes.
I think it might be something. But they did a couple of them. But yeah, go check that one out. It's free. Why the hell not? Like we'd like to say, download it. You might want to play it in 20 years for your kids. Bomber Crew. I really enjoyed. I thought about playing that one day. But yeah, so that's Games of Gold. That's games leaving. That's game coming to Game Pass, and that is the end of the show, I believe. Unless anyone else has got any urgent business they'd like to bring up.
When's Football Manager coming out?
Don't fucking start. Right, let's move on.
So the beta's out just now if you pre
my chest hurts. Thank you very much for tuning in to Xbox Tavern's X-Pod Tavern episode 97th. It's been wonderful to get back on the train, as it were, get back the ball rolling and get back to this wonderful podcasting business. You can find all our content at xboxtavern.com, youtube.com/Xbox Tavern official, Twitter, if that still exists by the time you hear this, Xbox Tavern, and all other sort of socials. Just search Xbox Tavern on Jeeves and they'll tell you where to go. I've been Jamie. You can follow me at Ian Xan if you wish. You can follow Ian
At Nutty Ray.
Daniel,
Chocolate about 80.
Graham,
At Green Reaper.
and Ross.
at Scottish Gruff.
Thank you very much. We will be back next week with episode 98, just 2 weeks away from the quiz.
Booyah!
Looking forward to it. Thank you very much, and we shall speak to you soon. Goodbye.
Ta-da.
You said the whole- It is